Alright everyone, for today's second video, we're playing Armarouge plus Skeledirge. I honestly didn't expect Skeledirge's ability to be stackable, and the damage numbers get kinda absurd. It can straight up boost fire Pokémon attacks by 100 damage, and if you're a damage enjoyer, Mega Charizard used to hit for 250, but with Skeledirge stacks it can hit 350. Once I realized it stacks, I immediately felt like this deck doesn't need red. And it doesn't need Giovanni either, those extra damage cards. What you actually need is energy, and you need to find a way to get Skeledirge evolved. That's the real key. If you have energy, and you have your evolutions, that charging damage is on a completely different level than red. So for this Armarouge build, your top-end damage can reach 220, even if Armarouge is only doing 120 for 3 energy, with plus 100 damage on top. That's still a huge hit. For the ideal opening in this deck, in any baby Pokémon deck, I always recommend starting baby, because Armarouge's setup is a bit slow. So Magby is basically mandatory. At first, I also considered using Charizard's evolution line Charmeleon at stage 1, to help the active Armarouge get energy. But then I realized a problem. Charizard feels awful without Entei. Armarouge and Skeledirge don't strictly require all fire energy for their attacks, which means in the future, there's a pretty good chance this deck can go mixed energy. But Skeledirge's ability, in my opinion, still kind of forces you into fire types. And that's the annoying part. Like, its ability is tied to fire type Pokémon, but the way its attacks work doesn't require all fire energy. So when I was building this deck, I spent a long time thinking. In the end, I still decided to go pure fire. For this deck, I think the biggest weakness is it lacks score-stealing cards. No Sabrina, no Blaine, no Bug Spray. That's honestly the most unfortunate part, because those slots went to the fire patch. This deck's demand for fire energy is just insanely high. But either way, playing new decks with new cards in a new version is always fine. So if you're like me, and you pulled a ton of Armarouge, and you also happen to have the Skeledirge evolution line, this one is worth testing. But like I mentioned earlier, its attack requirements aren't all fire energy. So later on, there might be even stronger deck changes with mixed energy that I just haven't found yet. That's definitely possible. Also, Armarouge has another form as well, Cherulige. At first I also thought, should I put Armarouge and Cherulige in the same deck? But after thinking about it, it's just too clunky. Since we don't have special score-stealing tools, it comes down to setup speed and tempo. As long as we can land a big hit before the opponent fully sets up and delete their main carry, then this deck wins. The opponent didn't even evolve into Mega Blaziken yet, and my Armarouge deleted it in one shot. Once their active Combusken went down, the game was over. Let me explain the early energy plan for this deck. Magby charges up the backline, and if you have a choice between Armarouge's basic and Skeledirge's basic, you need to judge based on your hand, because the two of them have different setup speeds after they evolve. Armarouge needs 3 energy, while Skeledirge only needs 2. So who you attach energy to depends on your hand. If today you have the Skeledirge evolution line, then prioritize attaching to Skeledirge. If instead you have the Armarouge evolution line, then prioritize attaching to Armarouge. Game 3 is against Dialga and Gholdengo. Yeah, I blanked on the name for a moment. This deck, if nothing goes wrong, I'll probably try it tomorrow. This is probably the world's #1 Gholdengo deck. The opponent's opening positioning was basically perfect, and ours was also top tier. We both opened with our charger in the active, but their setup speed is not even on the same level as Magby. Their late game is stronger, but they have to survive until then. Plus we have type advantage. Fire into Steel feels amazing. The opponent successfully evolved into Goldingo. In the active, Dialga can charge the benched Goldingo once. They didn't play any damage reduction tool. So next turn, their Dialga is just going to disappear. Professor Oak didn't find the Armarouge evolution line. That feels pretty bad. But we still delete their active Dialga first. We absolutely do not want their Dialga to charge a second time. If they charge a second time, Goldingo's damage becomes terrifying. So delete it ASAP. No surprises, the opponent's probably a whale. With that deck battlefield theme, and those 2-star cards, I can tell they've got some real power behind them. Super awkward, and they deleted my key carries basic for Armarouge. And they grabbed 2 points in one go, taking out Magby 2. The point pressure is huge, and I don't have an instant burst carry right now. And on top of that, they put a metal core barrier on their active Goldingo. This metal core barrier actually saved them. You can see, after I copycat and reshuffle, my second Skeledirge shows up. But because of that metal core barrier, even if I turn on Skeledirge's ability and stack the fire type damage boost twice, I still can't one-shot their Goldingo. That barrier was absolutely key. I spend 2 fire energy to max out the damage. And you can see, the damage should have been 190. But because of the barrier, minus 50 becomes 140, leaving Goldingo at exactly 10 HP. So can they turn it around with that 10 HP left? They choose the most aggressive line attach energy, and with the active, try to take any 1 point from any of my 3 Pokémon. Game 4 is against Sukin. And when you see Sukin now, it's not necessarily the Sukin Greninja deck anymore. Water decks in this new version are pretty strong too. Sadly, I still haven't pulled it yet. Once I do, I'll show you the gameplay right away. For sure. For this opening, think about it. Because I don't have the Armarouge or Skeledirge evolution lines in hand, but I do have Copycat, Professor Oak, and Rare Candy. So I'm going to gamble a bit. If next turn I can get Skeledirge online immediately, and pressure their active Sukin, I'm doing it without hesitation. So first I compress my hand, evolve Armarouge, then Copycat to try to draw Candy, plus Skeledirge. But sadly I didn't hit it. So my plan failed, and the cards I drew were super awkward. 2 Pokeballs that instantly became dead cards. So I just have to keep charging up. I don't really have a choice. The opponent takes the first points, knocking out my active Magby and benches a Sukin. But if it's a Sukin Greninja deck without Greninja, Sukin's power level is still a bit low. As long as they don't evolve into Greninja too fast, I still have a chance. At this point, the opponent played a red card on me. Not a big deal, because my evolution lines are already complete. And I'm only down 1 card anyway. It's not that punishing. But then they played a Froakie. And now the pressure is huge, because the thing I fear the most right now is the Shuriken plus Blaine Callout combo. I already sold both my Magby. And this is the situation I really don't want to see. So yeah, they are running Greninja. And they also have Chien-Pao. It's a pretty unique configuration, because right now, another popular version runs Baxcalibur instead. Let's do the damage math here. Skeledirge's ability activates, letting Armarouge's damage go over Suicune's HP line. This fire patch wasn't really necessary, but it's to play around Mars. Because after I KO their Suicune, my score goes to 2 points. If they play Mars, my fire patch might get shuffled away. And there's a second awkward issue here. Even though I'm terrified of Greninja's Shuriken plus the Blaine Callout combo, that's true. When I drew Professor Oak earlier, my bench Skeledirge somehow didn't evolve. I did not expect that. But luckily, they still didn't complete the Greninja evolution. And the paralysis coin flip was tails, so at this point, the game is over. For today's final match, we're up against a new version water deck. All I can say is this water deck looks pretty scary too. Plus they have type advantage, so it's a tough fight. If you're interested, watch till the end. If not, go copy some other deck lists. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. This is Greninja Player. See you next time, peace.